Hi, Luminaires!
Yay!
My name is Maitland, and this is the April 2021 Energy Update. And this is our take two because the time the camera wasn't hooked up. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. I like doing the live streams. The editing is fun as well, but there's something very nice just knowing that you're right on the other side of the camera. And I really enjoy doing the energy updates personally because we get to talk to you directly. And when we do it live, if I say something that is confusing and you want to ask clarity on it, you can. We won't be taking personal questions, but if you do need clarity questions on the information, I would love to do that. So I'm going to talk about April, and then I'm going to talk about the chakras, what chakras are being challenged, needed, and strengthened. As we get into April, I first want to here's my nickname for April. I see you. That's my nickname for April. Do you remember when we were talking about March? You might have not been there, but March just had a bunch of like really intense energy where sometimes people were waking up to like all of their gifts again, and then sometimes they were waking up going, "Oh, I really don't like this. I really want to change." And I mentioned at the end of it, like March would be the month for moving to another country, selling your house, buying a new house, divorcing, getting into a new relationship. It's just like, I am ready. Let's do this. And all of that is super great because as April's coming in, I want you to take the energy I talked about in March and rev it up a little bit. So when you're a highly sensitive person and you're living through April's energy, the new moon and the full moons and all the stuff that happen, it's all going to be pushing the button of like being courageous, being full of courage, and not courage like I'm going to force myself to do this, even if I'm afraid of it or timid. And not that. It's courage, meaning even on the smallest of levels. And I'll share the differences of it as we get in. But I just want you to be aware that April is a building up from March, and it's all going to be I see you. I see your likes. I see your dislikes. I see the good stuff. I see the psychic stuff. I see the ghosts. I see the spirits. I see Maitland. I see it, and I see you, and I see your pet. So it's all like everything that you've been working for to have acknowledged. Like, please see me, and you want to pull it out. Like maybe it's something in the past where you've been holding on to it, or it's an old pattern that you've been working on, and you're like, I know I don't like it. I know I don't like it, but here I am doing it again. I just don't know. I don't know why I do it. Or I hear this one a lot. I know I want to get in shape. I want to get in shape, and I have like a whole hour. I could go for a walk, but I'm just not going to do it. Or I know I want to feel better, but I see that pie and I'm going to eat the pie. Those kinds of things where you're acknowledging it, but you're not following through. April's courage energy is the one that's like, I'm going to help you follow through with that. I'm going to give you enough boost of energy where you go, I'm doing it. I'm doing it, even though I am like excited or scared or timid, or I don't know the outcome, or I don't have all the answers. April's energy is going to be like, it's okay. It's not big and ferocious. It's not like throwing punches and making you do stuff. No, 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 no. Please don't think that. April in general is super, super happy because of the courage energy. You tend to prioritize yourself because it's a deep look in. You, it's it's going to be like the solar plexus, the I energy, the me, all about me. And you get to look in and go, I'm done with that. Or I really like that and I want more of it. So I'm just going to go for it. At the beginning of the year, we were telling you a lot. You need to know where you're going because 2021 is the action year. It's go, 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 go. But you can't run really fast if you don't know where you're going because you'll exert energy in silly directions. You'll just kind of run in place or run in circles or run into a tree. So you need to give time to yourself to know where you're headed. And for some of us, some knowing is not an option. It's like, why do I sit down and I I can't think about it and I don't know what I want to do and so therefore I'm not a good person and this is not good. So if that's you, then sit down with yourself and feel. That means when I say sit down with yourself, I mean meditate. Do you know that word? Meditate? It's when you get really quiet with yourself and you just follow your own lead. And I want you to, especially in April, go, okay, I'm going to meditate. I'm going to follow what brings me happiness. Follow your own lead in what makes you happy. Oh, I like cats. So I'm going to think about cats for a little bit. And I want you to really go down that rabbit hole with that, what brings you happiness. You don't have to always sit down and focus on that, what might bring you happiness, like money. A lot of you, when I sit with you, you're thinking, I got to do the work and I got to get this done. And then I get rewarded or I get paid or then that looks good. And there's always that future little thing that's like, I need to go for that. So that's good and well for like manifestation. And for some of you, it keeps you on a good path. But for the bulk of you, it gets you like just running in a wheel. So I want to break the wheel and say, when you meditate in April, you just follow what makes you happy. And that happiness is going to higher your vibrations, it's going to increase them. So, cool thing. When you're happy, a lot of like you don't really think of this a lot, but because we see it, and if you're sensitive to energy, you might notice it as well. But neat thing about happiness, it's a feeling and an emotion. So you feel it in your body. It gives you a hormonal response. And what it does when it increases the vibration in your body, happiness, joy, bliss, laughter, all of these are very similar. I would say happiness is on the low end. Happiness, joy, laughter, bliss. And then if I was prioritizing, what happens in your body when you hold that happiness, it starts here in the heart center and starts to vibrate in a higher frequency than what the heart naturally produces. And so that gives the heart chakra a whole new bandwidth of energies that it can work with because you're increasing it. But the really cool thing is it does it for the rest of your body. It then comes down the line and it increases the vibrations in the solar plexus and it increases the vibrations in the sacral and then the root. And then all of a sudden, your body feels high because it is. Because what normally would vibrate at a lower frequency is now able to manage on a high frequency. So I want to remind you that when I'm talking about lower and higher frequencies, that's not bad and good. It's just the quality of frequencies. You need all of them to thrive and be a whole person. And when I'm talking about lower frequencies and that it raises up and it can vibrate higher, it doesn't mean that it stops producing the lower frequencies. It won't do that. What I mean is that it gives it a bigger bandwidth, like it has a bigger chunk of frequencies that it can play in to process and produce. So in April, when you're sitting down and meditating, it could be 5 minutes, it could be 15, it could be an hour, it could be 3. That you follow your happiness and let that be your meditation, because you're giving yourself a dose of self healing. You will feel better. Your immune system will be stronger. Your heart rate will be calmer. Your lungs will be healthier for it. I'm not even kidding. And when this happens, I feel like I have to burp. This is what you know when it's live stream and stuff like this happens, because Jamie will normally take it out. But it's not happening, but it's right. I feel like
Yeah,
it's
like a
right
bubble in your
there. So when you're meditating and focusing on the happy stuff and you expand your bandwidth, when you stop meditating, you still have the big bandwidth of things. And then you carry that right into the conversation you have with your family or your boss, or you carry it right into work or right into sleep. You use it. It doesn't go away when you stop meditating. That's, I like things like this because I think we on earth, when you're living there for a while, you tend to forget that multiple things can hold at one time and that there is longevity past your focus on something. So if you were focusing on it, you're like, I know it's there. But then when you stop meditating, you're not really focusing on your higher vibrational body. You're just like, this is who I am. And you go about your day. But I just want to remind you, it's still happening and it's still really, really good. So that would be a really good homework bit. But I've got more homework for April. Because along with this courage thing, the strength to address old patterns, the acceptance of this courage energy that April brings in, where you're like, I am going to look at that. I'm going to accept that and I'm going to go for that. So it's not just about rainbows and butterflies and the things that you only want to see. It's also going to be the things that maybe you thought you locked up a long time ago, and the box is going to unlock itself and be like, remember me? Like, we worked on this, but we really didn't do it. So maybe you can come back to me. And April's energy is like, oh, yeah, we need to come back to that. Like, we're going to pull it out and we're going to handle it in the enlightened, kind, and compassionate way that you know you are now. So it's really good month to go through your internal emotional closets and your memories of past that maybe haunt you or come up. So I'm going to talk about the chakras with this because I normally do the chakras at the end. But the chakra that's going to be needed the most, I would say, is the earth chakra or the root chakra. The earth chakra, that's in the feet, in the bottom there. I have cat socks on. I like these socks. They're at the bottom, and and they're the lowest vibration that your body associates with before it's ethereal energy or astral energy outside of you, and it's the one that connects to Mother Earth, Gaia. And I say that one's going to be needed because when you're digging through your past and digging through things that haven't been resolved that are going to come up, it's not, again, April's not forceful. So when I talk about things like you didn't handle in the past, you're going to handle it now, some of you might go, no, 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 no. And the other half are like, well, I don't really remember anything. But it'll just kind of come up naturally and you'll be able to handle it with your modern day you insight, which will be very smooth. Well, you'll have the courage to look at it and you'll need to stay really, really grounded, like very present. And that's going to be the earth chakra and root chakra. If you already feel like you're kind of flying high from March's energy, which don't make it a judgment of today because today is pretty darn awesome energetically. So think about it tomorrow. Oh, so when You are feeling pretty high for March. I would say hematite, maybe even something like a red jasper would be really good just to kind of bring in and hold on to. Keep them in your pocket, your bag, your pillowcase, and have that help you stay a little bit more grounded, like deflated feeling, but not in a sad deflated way, just like come on down from that helium balloon. Because you'll need to stay grounded. When we look at what else courage is doing for you, courage is saying, okay, here's all those psychic abilities that we've been unfolding for you since last August. Don't you want to look at this again? And it's like, remember when you were like, oh, I really want to do that, but it kind of scares me. You're like, I want to see you, Maitland. Come by, I want to see you. And then when I show up and I do some silly stuff, you're like, thank you. I'm good. That's enough. And I'm like, that's enough. I thought we wanted to chat. No. So when your heart starts to race and things like that, um, then you want to stay very grounded because this indigo energy is coming in for April. When you have this sense of I am present and I am good and I can approach whatever comes my way. It's like a tad bit of brave boldness, but it's definitely not done in a rash way, hasty or an ignorant way. It's done where your whole body is aware of what's happening. Your whole body. It's not just your head pushing it through. It's not just a silly voice in your head making it happen, like push, push. And it's not like this emotional thing, or it's not a guilt, and it's not based on shame to, when you're feeling that, you're like, well, I probably should because no, it's all about the me, and I feel very good with this, and I'm going to look at it. And my knees might be wobbly and I might be afraid, but I'm going to look at it. And for a lot of you, it's that very similar thing that holds you back from your psychic abilities. And so that's going to ease up a bit. So you're clairvoyant, you're claircognizant, sentient, impisto, clair olfactory. All of this is going to come just a little bit more heightened because you have the ability to say, yep, I'm going to look at that again. What's being really supported is going to be the third eye, because that's naturally going to be there in April to hold you. Now, the one that's going to be challenged the most is gonna be I was going to say lemon and lime, but that's not funny to a lot of people. The heart and the solar plexus, yellow and green, like a lemon and a lime. And the reason these two are going to be challenged so much is that you, in staying present with yourself and doing a me look, a lot of people haven't had the time to do that. And it's a little awkward to look at yourself so much. You start to think, am I egocentric now? Am I all about the me in the bossy way and that I am the only thing that exists in this universe? Because highly sensitive people, you're more aligned to being the care provider, the teacher, the helper. You're more in line with an ebb and a flow of a natural energy or a neutral energy. And sometimes taking on a more strong energy, like that positive current energy, it's just too much and it feels awkward. So you think, I must be, very egocentric and bossy and mean and all this because I'm just thinking about myself. So it will challenge you because we're saying, do think about yourself, do prioritize yourself, do go in there and say, me, and this is what I'm going to do, but it's not overblown to imbalance. So April is going to unfold in a way where you have a lot of energy in your back pocket just for you, just for you. And you get to say, I want to be seen this way. I want to express myself this way. This is what I like and what I don't like. And cool thing on top of that, when you're coming from the me in a healthy way, you are also able to hold space for other people to come from their me. Isn't that neat? If you were egocentric, you would not be able to hold space for other people to talk about their me's and their needs. But energy in April is saying, here's your strength, here's the courage to look at it and come out and play with your psychic abilities in a deeper way and use them daily. And when somebody else comes to you and they have needs, all of a sudden you have this strength or the courage to see the other person and let them have the space for their needs as well. That's a natural side effect to it. If you have already been working with egocentric energy and you come into April, it could really be I see like a mud ball in my head. Like you just pack the mud on. Not a snowball. Snowball is white and fluffy and pretty. I want a mud with like leaves and sticks out of it. And it's just like you start packing it on. So if you're already coming off of March and you are an egocentric person and you do not consider other people in your orbit, April is going to make you feel very powerful, and it is going to keep your teeter totter imbalanced, and you're going to take it as, oh, this is just feeding me, and everybody needs to sit down because I know all the answers. Whew. So if you're coming across somebody like that, just know that April is going to flare them up a little bit more in that direction, but coming off of it, not so much. So April does have two parts. It has like the 1st through like the 19th and the 20th. So the bulk of it. And then on the 15th is like a big spike of like a really good date. And I know that's your tax day, but I think you're all going to be very happy because of the global economic situation. There's going to be a lot of forgivenesses and a lot of assistance coming from several countries and nations. So it's not going to be as stressful this year. But besides that, energetically, looking at the stars and how everything is aligned, the 15th is like a wow, yeah, day. So mark it down, because if you have anything that you want to change or launch or to show or to come out with, the 15th is very nice. And then we have that smooth energy, like the courage. You're going to stay grounded because you're going to be looking at what you will call, when we talk in judgment language, the good and the bad is all going to be coming out in you. What's I don't really like using the words good and bad because everything is so good. Everything is valuable. Everything is so worth it that in April, you'll see that more than ever. Whereas before, you might go, that was good, that was bad. I like that, I hate that. I want that, I don't want that. That softens in April. That boost of energy that we're nicknaming the courage, the I see you, I see you, I see you vibrations, I see you dislikes, I see you, and I see this. It's like you acknowledge everything for the first time, like you're a little baby opening up your eyes and you get to see it all again. Well, pretend would be the first time, but you incarnate, so you are seeing it again. And so all that comes in and you see it, and it softens, and there's not much more good and bad in the language throughout the year. The 2021 action throughout the year really softens that language, and judgments tend to fall away, and we go into an era of accepting. Oh, I accept that for what it is, and I love it for exactly what it is because I'm getting something from it. And it's no longer, I hate that, and that's not good, and that's best, and I want, and I don't want. Those are the fun things, those overarching, Um, so to hold this all together in April, for the first like 1 through 20 days, I like the meditation and just sitting down and following your happy thoughts and only letting the happy thoughts come in, even if you think um, it's not going to produce something for you later. I'm fine with that. It's not about thinking happy thoughts that are productive. It can be silly thoughts. It could be, for those of you who do not like meditating, it could be sitting down and listening to 30 minutes of comedy and just laughing and enjoying that burst of bliss that will get you actually to stay more grounded. Then, from like the 19th to the end of April, I just burnt. It finally happened. The 19th to like the end of April, that's when um, I want you to be more proactive, more, it'll feel more like, what's this? What's that called? Oh, strong?
Yeah, like
abundant,
tough, strong.
Tough. Like a bull. Woof. Like, not to charge things, but just like I'm so strong and I'm so present. And every time I walk, I feel it on the earth. Boom, boom, that thing.
Are you always saying empowered?
Yeah.
That's a great word for that.
I like this. The last part of April is like really empowering, and you feel it. So, the last part of it is to not to diminish the empowerment, but to keep it soft. Because sometimes when we're not thinking, like when you're not present, you'll take that really awesome and empowered energy and you might turn it into destructive. You might turn to your person and just go, "What are you doing?" Rah, 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 rah. And just like let it come up like this. And you're like, I didn't mean to do that. That's not like me at all. It just came out of me. So you got to go, okay, we're going to breathe. We want to keep that really strong, empowering energy soft. And some techniques that you could do with that are breathing exercises and yoga. And simply touch. You can touch your third eye, or you can touch your crown chakra. You can pat it, and you rub it. And just the like simple touch on the body reminds you of what energy centers you use. We're very good about acknowledging the stomach, especially when it's hungry and when it needs to be fed. The solar plexus can scream like, "Rah!" And we're like, "Oh, I'm so hungry. Oh, this hurts." And you hold and you touch. This is a very human center. The me, which April is resonating with, and that's, remember, the chakra that's going to be challenged a bit. So if we already have that empowering and we want to soften it without diminishing it, it's just the pat on the head, a rub on the third eye, and you don't have to do a lot of pressure. It's more of like pushing energy in and then rubbing the energy into the third eye, and that'll calm it down, and it'll put you right back into this, I'm so empowered. and you won't mistaken it as like a burst of like anger or rage. Um, it's really crazy how human emotions, they're paired up like excitement and nerves. They're the same thing. It's just with a different perspective. And empowerment and rage, it's like the same thing. It's just different perspectives. So to stay more on the softer side, a little pat and a little rub. April is the ICU, and we're building up on March. You're going to need your red root chakra. Stay very grounded. You can do that in really light-hearted ways by sitting down and thinking about happy thoughts. Your third eye is going to be very much supported. It's going to say, oh, I know that vibration you like. Let's keep bringing it forward. Let's show it. Let's show it. Because all the energy from the buildup from the last year, from how the stars are all about look at all the little individual beings of light on earth, and let's give them that extra energy they need to be courageous, not thoughtless, not not mistaken for carelessness, but courageous enough. And that could be to go outside for the first time. It could be to breathe public air for the first time. It could be to walk without a mask for the first time. It could be to say hi to somebody that you really like. It could be going to the grocery store and trying a new food. It could be the courage you need to speak to a long lost relative, or the courage to tell yourself that you're sorry. It could be any of it, but it's this I see you energy, all the parts of me. And it's an opportunity to really call it forward and create that balance to where it's not lingering on the I like and I dislike. That's why the solar plexus and the heart, they're going to be the ones that are getting challenged because the solar plexus is the I know and the heart is the I feel. And we want to mush those together and not make it a this or a that, or a yes or a no, or a head or heart. It's going to be all of it. And April's going to help you do that. Um, that's April. it's it's a lot in, and I hope it makes sense to you in the way that I do my best to describe it in a way where it's a little bit more silly, but it gives you that understanding. And I would say, do mark on your calendars the 15th as being like a really great day. And mark around the 19th and the 20th as the shift into gears to remind yourself to stay soft for the rest of April because you're naturally going to be empowered, not because of what you say, it's because how the earth and the atmosphere is feeding you. Do you know there's a thing like if you're feeling good and you're feeling happy, when you're in the flow and it's easy, that's because you've unblocked everything. You've told yourself that everything is possible and you don't have anything like holding you back and creating a resistance. So, in an essence, you can say you're healing and you're upgrading, you're aligning. So, look forward to the feeling good, ease, this kind of, I didn't even really have to decide. It was provided and I liked it and I said yes. Then when you're having a hard time in April and there's conflict, where and maybe you feel really gritty is what we used to say gritty, but I don't think it means that anymore. Blah blah, icky, stuck, irritated, frustrated, then that is vibrations working out of you. Like you're giving birth to these things inside of you that don't work anymore. And the first doorway out is how you feel. And so you start to feel angry or frustrated, or irritated. Then stop and go, oh my gosh, I'm releasing something that doesn't work for me anymore. Okay. And then you can acknowledge it from that angle and watch how things shift. Everything that you are going through and feeling is very, very valuable, and getting you to that end goal of just being in alignment, unconditional love and compassion. It's a good time to be alive. Was there any I need more clarity questions?
I don't see any I need more clarity questions. I think that was
I did it.
so nice, Maitland. It really is. It gave me kind of like it made me feel like, I can't remember if I think it was Orel said, empowered, but at the same time like this relaxed essence of being empowered.
Yes.
It's really nice.
It is a super nice energy. Like overall, April is good stuff. It's amazing feeling. It's a rev up. It's exposure. It's just really, remember I told you guys March, I was like, we're getting into the good stuff now. And here we go. So please use up that energy in April and do your good work. Just soak it up and pull it in and let it empower you. But you have to slow down to like feel the energy. A lot of you sometimes just move so fast with your thoughts onto the next thing and jumping and jumping and jumping and jumping that you're not really able to feel what's happening around you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
You have lots of thank yous and love this, and everybody was absorbing what you were saying.
Thank you so much for letting me talk to you guys. I look forward, if you need anything, reach out to me. I want to help you. That's why I'm here. And I'll see you later, alligators.
After wild crocodile.
I'll see you soon, baboon.
Bye bye, butterfly.
Hasta mañana, iguana.
Toodaloo, kangaroo.
I'll see you in the morning, unicorn.
Oh my gosh. Blow you a kiss, jellyfish.
Bye bye, butterfly.
I'm gonna run out.
Because she's got a job, warthog.
Time to sail orca whale. That's what Bean says.
Time to sail orca whale.
Toodles, poodle.
Toodles, poodles.
Oh my goodness.
I like this. Thank you.
Bye, Maitland.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.